Hi everyone, my name is John Milan Seebick, and I want to talk a little about the election today. Let's talk about the HCDO candidates and the HCDO in general. For the last couple of years, we've had a mayor who basically worked under the HCDO. We had assemblymen who were under the HCDO umbrella. What have we gotten in the last 6 years from these assemblymen, from these candidates? We've gotten higher taxes, minimal growth, basically gone nowhere. Now you look at the two hand-picked candidates right now. Mr. Schiavoletti, who was in city government, and he created a mess along with his campaign manager, Nancy Kist, then the MOT, and we ended up with undeveloped land for the last 7 years. Mr. Schiavoletti left Bayonne and worked for the state senator, which is great, but where's he been for the last 7 years? The last election, the mayor election in Bayonne, we all fought for change. We wanted to get under and away from that HCDO umbrella. We thought we did. But obviously we did not. Did anybody see Mr. Schiavoletti fighting for change? Have we seen him at council meetings? Have we seen him do anything for Bayonne working for a powerful senator? I don't think we have. When the times got rough with the BLRA, he left for greener pastures. And we all know that Fidelco, a company who his law firm represented, wanted to make the base all residential. And we also know he works for a law firm that worked with the developers to settle the lawsuits against Bayonne recently. So I ask you this. He's back. But where's he been? Do we really think anything is going to change because he's an HCDO candidate? Absolutely not. You look at the couple things that he's talking about. Creating a living wage. Creating jobs for a living wage. That's going to be near to impossible. First you have to create a standard, and then you have to bring the jobs and economic growth into the area. It's just a tagline. Helping seniors. That's great, but how? How? Third one's education. The funding formula, yeah, it can be changed, but we need help getting it changed from our governor. So I ask you, if you think about it, do you prefer a hand-picked candidate who's going to follow the status quo, or are you going to vote for change? You look at the other candidate under the HCDO line. After 5 different picks by the HCDO, they finally settled on one. If you look at the debates, she never answered a direct question. She spoke very highly of herself. And she actually said, and it's quoted in the paper, that she's running because there's been a void in state leadership. Well, that void has been HCDO candidates. So I ask you, are you going to vote for the status quo? Or will you vote column C for change? Now, I also want to bring to your attention the fundraising by both candidates under the HCDO. First of all, they're not together, they're separate. And Mayor Fulop's old chief of staff, Muhammad Akil, is Angela's campaign manager. Now, Nancy Kist, who worked at the BLRA with Nicholas Schiavoletti, is his campaign manager. Now, there's a couple things that you need to know about the fundraising of Mr. Schiavoletti. He's raised about $100,000. And if you look at the numbers, about 25% of that money was raised from Bayonne people. Out of the 91,000, about 27,000 was raised from people in Bayonne. Okay? And the rest is from out of town in Washington, D.C. So I ask you, do we want somebody who will probably cater to corporate interests and follow the status quo? Or do we want an independent thinker who will bring everybody's voice to Trenton? We want somebody who's come back to the future, like Michael J. Fox. He's back. Why? He's back because of money, of course. He's raised most of his money from out-of-town people, which is a fact if you look at his elect report. I'm urging anybody who cares about this town and who fought in the last election, think about this. Did you see Mr. Schiavoletti knocking doors? Did you see him out there? No. He came in during the runoff, yes. But why? Because he's the hand-picked candidate. I would think hard tomorrow about who you're voting for. I'm voting for change, just like I fought for change last year, and will continue. Just because our mayor says I support someone doesn't really mean we have to follow the status quo. Don't be a follower. Be a leader and go with who you feel will fight for change. Vote column C for change.